Grounding a metal carport involves several steps to ensure electrical safety, especially when electrical outlets and lights are installed. Since a UFO ground was not possible during the concrete pour, alternative methods must be used. The first step is to install a ground rod. Drive a 5/8-inch diameter, 8-foot long copper-clad steel ground rod at least 6 feet deep into the soil, perpendicular to the Earth's surface. Ensure it is at least 10 feet away from the carport. Next, bond the ground rod by connecting an 8 American wire gauge bare copper wire from the ground rod to the grounding electrode system of the service building. For bonding the carport structure itself, firstly, identify the structural metal components. Determine which metal components of the carport are interconnected and in contact with the ground. Secondly, bond the components. Use 8 American wire gauge bare copper wire to bond all interconnected metal components of the carport, including the columns, roof beams, and any metal siding. Then connect to the ground rod. Connect the 8 American wire gauge copper bonding wire from the carport components to the ground rod using a split bolt or other appropriate connector. Regarding the electrical wiring, firstly use ground fault circuit interrupters. All electrical outlets and lights installed on the carport must be protected by ground fault circuit interrupters. Secondly, bond the electrical system. Bond the metal enclosure of the electrical panel to the carport structure using an 8 American wire gauge bare copper wire. There are additional considerations. Firstly, local codes. Consult local building codes for specific requirements regarding bonding of metal carports. Secondly, corrosion protection. Apply an anti-corrosion compound to all bonding connections to prevent rust and ensure long-term conductivity. Thirdly, inspection. Periodically inspect the bonding system to ensure it is intact and properly functioning. Please note that the bonding arrangement described above is based on the assumption that the carport is not connected to the main building. If the carport is connected, grounding and bonding must be coordinated to ensure the integrity of the entire electrical system. The purpose of grounding and bonding is to provide a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source, which allows the overcurrent protection device, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, to trip and clear the fault. This helps prevent electrical shock hazards and minimizes the risk of fire. A ground rod provides a connection to the earth, which helps to stabilize voltage and provide a reference point for the electrical system. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidelines for grounding and bonding electrical systems. Article 250 of the NEC covers grounding and bonding requirements. Section 250.104, although referenced, provides guidance on bonding structural steel, but the specifics of a carport might require a more comprehensive approach. It's important to understand the difference between grounding and bonding. Grounding connects the electrical system to the earth, while bonding connects metal parts together to create a low impedance path. Both are essential for electrical safety. The size of the grounding and bonding conductors is crucial for effective fault current carrying capability. An 8 American wire gauge copper wire is commonly used, but local codes and specific circumstances may require a larger size. The connections must be mechanically sound and electrically conductive. Split bolt connectors, compression connectors, or other listed connectors should be used to ensure a reliable connection. These connectors should be suitable for direct burial if the connection is underground. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are central safety devices that protect against electrical shock. They detect small imbalances in current and quickly trip the circuit, cutting off power. All outlets and lights on the carport should be GFCI protected. When driving the ground rod, ensure it is installed in an area where it will not be damaged or disturbed. Avoid locations where it could be struck by vehicles or other equipment. The ground rod should be driven deep enough to ensure good contact with the earth, typically at least 8 feet in total length driven. The connection between the grounding and bonding conductors and the ground rod should be accessible for inspection and maintenance. It should also be protected from physical damage. Regular inspections of the grounding and bonding system are important to ensure its integrity. Check for corrosion, loose connections, and any signs of damage. Any issue should be addressed promptly to maintain electrical safety. In areas with corrosive soil, it may be necessary to use special grounding and bonding materials that are resistant to corrosion. Consult with a qualified electrician to determine the best materials for the specific location. The electrical panel and the carport should be properly grounded and bonded. The metal enclosure of the panel should be connected to the grounding electrode system with a grounding electrode conductor. The neutral conductor should also be bonded to the enclosure at the service entrance. All metal conduit and other metal enclosures containing electrical conductors should be bonded together to create a continuous low impedance path. This helps to minimize voltage differences and reduce the risk of electrical shock. When running electrical wiring to the carport, use appropriate wiring methods that are suitable for the environment. Consider using underground feeder or off cable for underground installations or conduit for above-ground installations. Ensure that all wiring is properly supported and protected from physical damage. If the carport is located near other structures or equipment, coordinate the grounding and bonding system to ensure that there are no circulating currents or other electrical issues. Consult with a qualified electrician to develop a comprehensive grounding and bonding plan. Always follow local electrical codes and regulations when installing and maintaining electrical systems. These codes are designed to ensure electrical safety and prevent hazards. When in doubt, consult with a qualified electrician who can provide guidance and assistance. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it's important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others. Turn off power to the circuit before working on any electrical components and use appropriate safety equipment such as insulated gloves and eye protection. In some cases, it may be necessary to install multiple ground rods to achieve the required grounding resistance. The NEC specifies the maximum allowable grounding resistance, and additional ground rods may be needed to meet this requirement. The distance between ground rods should be at least the length of the ground rod, typically 8 feet. When connecting the bonding conductors to the metal components of the carport, ensure that the connections are made to clean, bare metal. Remove any paint, rust, or other coatings that could interfere with the electrical connection. Use appropriate bonding hardware, such as bonding bushings or bonding jumpers, to ensure a reliable connection. If the carport has metal siding, bond the siding to the grounding system to prevent it from becoming energized. This can be done by connecting a bonding conductor to the siding at multiple points. When installing electrical equipment on the carport, such as lights or outlets, ensure that the equipment is properly grounded. The grounding conductor from the equipment should be connected to the grounding terminal in the outlet box or fixture. If the carport is located in an area with frequent lightning strikes, consider installing a lightning protection system. A lightning protection system can help to protect the carport and its contents from damage caused by lightning. The system should be installed by a qualified lightning protection contractor. The grounding and bonding system should be designed to minimize the risk of electrical noise and interference. This is especially important if the carport will be used to house sensitive electronic equipment. Use shielded cables and filters to reduce electrical noise and interference. The grounding and bonding system should be documented and labeled for future reference. This will make it easier to inspect and maintain the system over time. Keep a record of the location of the ground rods, the size and type of grounding and bonding conductors, and the connections that were made. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician before performing any electrical work.